In West Africa, tensions are running high as Russian and American troops share the same military base in Niger. Troops of the two rival nations are face to face, sharing an airbase in Niger's capital, Niamey. However, reports suggest that the soldiers are based in different hangars. As Niger's junta rejects American military presence, the entry of Vladimir Putin's forces raises concerns over Russia's access to U.S. military installations. Our next report goes inside the tense face-off between the rival powers.
Imagine two rivals meeting in a foreign land. What do you think will happen? Well, there's bound to be some friction. In extreme situations, things may get out of hand too. An airbase in the West African nation of Niger is witnessing something similar, with tensions simmering. Russian troops have entered Airbase 101, which is next to Diori Hamani International Airport in Niger's capital city, Niamey. But the military airbase is also housing American troops. This comes after a decision by Niger's junta to expel US forces. The entry of Vladimir Putin's soldiers has put American and Russian troops in close proximity, at a time when the two countries are at loggerheads over the conflict in Ukraine. Reports say the Russian forces were not mingling with the US troops and that they were using a separate hangar at Airbase 101. However, the presence of Russian troops has also raised concerns over the fate of American installations at the airbase. Addressing the concerns, the U.S. Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin, said that the Russian troops did not have access to American equipment.
I think you know that Airbase 101, where our forces is a Nigerian Air Force base that is co-located with an international airport in the capital city. The Russians are in a separate compound and don't have access to U.S. forces or access to our equipment. And this is something that, again, I'm always focused on the safety and the protection of our troops, something that we'll continue to watch. But right now, I don't see a significant issue here in terms of our force protection.
The United States has been a key partner to Niger in its fight against the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda affiliates in the Sahel region. The US had constructed a $100 million airbase in Niger and has nearly 1,000 troops stationed in the country. But after the coup in July last year, the Niger junta rulers expelled American and French troops. Niger is not the only country in the region to expel Western forces. The US and its allies have been forced to pull troops out of several African countries after coups. West African nations like Chad, Mali, and Burkina Faso forced US and French troops out recently. And as discontent against the West grows in military-ruled African nations, both China and Russia have been making inroads. Beijing and Moscow have been strengthening their relations with African countries, pitching themselves as friendly partners without a colonial background in the region. So now, resource-rich Africa is being courted by the US, Russia, and China. By picking sides, will the continent usher in a new world order?
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.